So our industry is really at an inflection point. On the one side, we have customer expectations that are changing substantially, putting more and more on us as energy providers to be lower cost and less impactful on the environment. On the other side, we have massive technology disruption. And when you put those two pressures together, it's forcing us to make changes. The energy industry is facing an inflection point. It's a technology push. On the one hand, we have centralized infrastructure, getting less costly and less impactful to the environment, wind and solar and storage. On the other hand, we have customers with ever-present sensors and controllability. Those two things are coming together to create a new value network that we as society need to bring together, because shame on us for not doing more with less. So when an industry faces disruptive technology, new products and new value networks can emerge. And that combination of technical advances in the centralized space and technical advantages in the consumer space are providing us just that opportunity to pursue those new value networks. So let's talk more concretely about what's happening physically to our grid today. We're actually experiencing an inflection point, a 180-degree flip of how the grid can operate. In today's world, the power plants are always there to make sure that energy is present when you need it. And we as customers use it with little coordination or little regard to what's happening behind the scenes. When we want light, when we want a difference in our climate, we flip a switch. We behave very differently in other parts of our lives. Take transportation. We often change the time that we feel is appropriate to travel. We often change the route we want to take, all to optimize the use of that roadway infrastructure and save us time and money. But we don't do that with our electrical system. But that's going to change for two reasons. That centralized infrastructure, one attribute of it is that it's less and less controllable. The energy gets produced when the wind blows and the sun shines. On the customer side, with increased connectivity and sensors, is getting more and more capable of helping balance that energy equation. That's creating a synergy. Those technology advantages are coming together to create a market that is more economical and less impactful to the environment. And we're reaching a tipping point. The more and more we can empower the customer to help provide that grid stability, the more and more we can invest in that lower cost, less impactful to the environment technology in wind and solar. So let's take a simple use case, the future of the electric car. You'll have it parked in your driveway or your garage, and you can charge it at night when the wind's blowing and likely nobody's using electricity. You'll wake up in the morning, go to your first appointment. When you plug it in, rather than charge, it can discharge and help the grid. Just prior to leaving that appointment, the sun's at its peak, it can be recharging to make sure you have enough energy to get to where you need to be. Make it home in the evening and start over again. What happened? We were able to introduce more and more renewable energy. We were able to offset infrastructure in transmission and distribution lines, and you got what you wanted in the end. You got from point A to point B, timely and no different than you do today. So what does that mean for an industry like mine? For the past 40 years, we've been designing markets to improve efficiency and compete on cost. We looked at ways to better develop, build, and operate power generating assets. And when we reached the peak of efficiency there, we looked at adapting business models, going after customers so that we could create financial synergies between companies that generate power and customers that consume them. We're at a point now where the centralized infrastructure will compete against the decentralized infrastructure, which is the customer. So now we have to look for a new path forward. We have to position ourselves to innovate as the market takes its next evolutionary step. We call that the Greentailer model, where we invoke the customer on the one hand in the efficiency improvements that are available to us, and on the other hand, develop the latest technology, wind and solar, to create that energy that all of us need. So where we were previously a generation company that dispatched our assets to always control what the customer needed at any moment in time, now we're becoming a company that has assets that will produce at lower cost and with less environmental impact and allow the customers to invoke that value over time and balance the grid as we move forward. So that's the Greentailer model. What does it mean for you? It means that you will be able to get energy that gives you what you want: light, climate control, business operations, at lower cost and less environmental impact than ever before. Look, I recognize we all buy energy the same way we have for our entire lives. But I truly believe in the next 10 years, you'll see that start changing. You'll see companies like mine looking at what can we do for you? What can we do to help you harness your ability to help give value back to the grid, lowering your cost and helping the environment, all the while working centrally to build more and more non-dispatchable, but lower cost, lower carbon intensity generation assets that can help us all move forward together in a much more economical and less environmentally impactful way. So what are we doing about it now? We are introducing products that allow you to not only make sure that the cost is optimal for you, but allowing you to understand and guarantee where your energy is coming from. The more we do that, the more opportunity we get to work with you to help balance that system equation. But I look to you to challenge us to do more. How can we take how you operate, how you live your life, and use that to make that grid more reliable, less costly, and more sustainable? If we work together, companies like mine, which used to pride ourselves in how efficiently we could deploy infrastructure, will soon pride ourselves in how well we can do by our customers and their businesses.